All right, the guys at Canon, they never sleep. They constantly keep coming up with cool cameras like this one. All right, first off, you're looking at the Canon S5 IS, and this has a 12x optical zoom, and it's 8 megapixels. This has practically every feature, and then some. This actually has more features than my digital SLR that I have. So this is an amazing camera, and the IS in the name, that stands for Image Stabilizer. So no more blurry pictures because you're shaking the camera, or a lot of times when you zoom, you get the blurry images. That is gone. Now, there's really so much to talk about. I really want to get into it. This is going to be a great camera for someone who wants to learn professional photography. It'd be a great second camera for a pro. And this would also be very good for a novice who just wants extremely good pictures, because the auto modes, they lock all the different settings, so you're not going to get confused. All right, let me take you on a tour of this camera. All right, now here's the lens. Now notice it's a nice large lens, much larger than most of the lenses on the market. And the CCD on the inside, that's the image sensor, it's 1/2 of an inch CCD, so that's a pretty good size sensor. Also, the zoom, again, 12x zoom, that's going to be equivalent to over 430 millimeters if you're still using the film lenses. And right here on the side of the lens, you have manual focus right there at the touch of a button. And this is macro for close-up subjects. It shows a little picture of the flower there so you don't get confused. All right, we're looking at the top of the camera. The first thing I want to look at is the wheel here, because it's extremely convenient. Now, if you turn this way, you're getting into all the manual modes where you can set your own aperture, your own shutter, get creative. And you put it on a tripod and take a nighttime picture with some cars going by or something like this one I took last night downtown. That was actually on a tripod. Set my own shutter, 2 or 3 second shutter. Now if we go the other way, here are all the preset modes like portrait, landscape, even have some sports modes, and all kinds of different scene modes. You've seen these in a lot of cameras. This one actually had a few scene modes that are unique, and I really started using some of these scene modes. I'll show you those in a minute. Right there's the movie mode to do 640 by 480 at 30 frames per second. Now up here, this button will allow you to do a continuous shot mode, 1.5 frames per second. That's good if you have a moving subject or you want to get some nature shots with a bird flying by. Just hold the shutter down. It will record 1.5 frames a second. You pick the best one. It'll also let you do the timer 2 second or 10 second if you want to put it on a tripod and get a family photo. And it'll also let you do time lapse. So you set the camera on a tripod and let it take maybe 1 picture every hour. You program it. You can do 1 picture every 10 seconds, 1 picture every hour, something like that. Here's the shutter release and the zoom right there at the tip of your fingers. Now, there's the on and off switch. And this lets you change between the camera and the playback. All right, now a couple other things on the top. Now the flash, this is very cool. You just pull the flash up and that keeps the flash away from the lens. What creates red eye is having the flash too close to the lens. And the only way to activate this flash is to pull it up. A lot of the other cameras, you push the button down, the flash pops up on its own. This one, it assumes that if you have the flash down, you don't want to use the flash. If you have it up, you want to use it. So that's very cool, and it's a very good idea. It puts the control back in your hands. Now let's take a look at the back. And the first thing you'll notice is the LCD is protected. This is a 2.5-inch screen, and when you pop it out, it flips and rotates. So if you want to, maybe you're at a concert or something, you want to get a good shot, you can bend it down like this, hold it above your head, or even if you're in front of the camera, you can flip it around and see it there. And, close it back and just keep it right there so it's all compacted together. All right, so let's go through the buttons on the back. Now, when you're in the automatic mode and you press the function button to bring up your different settings, most of the settings are grayed out, so you can't get lost and get somewhere and not know how to get back. But if you want to get creative, put it in one of the other modes. Press the function button again, and you can change virtually everything from white balance to color to saturation. Even all the quality settings are right here. And another thing that's very cool, there's an ISO button right on the camera, so you don't even have to go into the menu. If you want to change the ISO, you can change it right there, and it'll go all the way up to 1600. Then on the bottom we have our display button. You press that, it goes to the different display modes. This one brings up a histogram and a grid, so you can line up your shot and tell what the light is doing. Press it again, it turns on the electronic viewfinder, and then back here. Now up here, this is very cool. This is a record button, so no matter what mode you're in, you don't have to change around. If you see something cool happening, you just press the record button there. It's a separate button than the shutter, and you're recording video, so that's very cool. Over here, this is exposure compensation. You bring this up if you need to make the shot darker or lighter right in the automatic mode. Now, there is one scene mode that I want you to see, so I'm going to turn this dial over to the SCN, which are the scene modes. And then you just press left and right to go between the different scene modes. And this one I really want you to see, it's the color accent mode. Now, you've seen the black and white pictures that have, one thing in color, maybe blue eyes and everything else is black and white, or green leaves and everything else is black and white. Well, this one does it in the camera. And what you do is you press the, after you get it in that mode, press the ISO button, and it lets you pick a color. So I'm going to pick that the collar on my shirt right here. And then you just press the left button. And it turns blue right there. It selected that as the color. Now you can see in this shot how only one color stands out while the rest is all black and white. And there's another mode that's pretty cool. This is the color swap mode. This allows you to take one color and choose that. We use the ISO button to activate that again. You see we pick one color here, and then we select a different color. So anything that's green in the shot will now become blue. So that's a very cool mode, and those are two modes that are included. There's several other modes, like I said, the night scene, indoor, foliage, several modes, but those two are really the two standout modes of the camera that really set this apart from the others. Now if I turn the camera over to the side here, you'll see that you have the audio ins and outs and also the USB right under this little panel here. You can plug this up to your TV and look at your images, or just hook it into the computer and upload them to the PC. Right there, that's for DC if you're using this indoors, or maybe you've got a setup where you're taking shots for auctions on eBay all day. Just plug it into the wall. That way you don't waste the battery. Speaking of the battery, right here it is in the front. Now this uses AA batteries, so you can grab those anywhere. And it uses 4 of them. I recommend using some of the rechargeable ones. On Tiger Direct we have some great rechargeable batteries from Ultra. You can grab those. And it also uses an SD card that goes in the bottom here. You can use SD, HC, or SD, and even MMC. So, and those will go right in there. Now, a few of you are probably scratching your head saying, what is SDHC? Well, that is a high-capacity SD card, and those go all the way up to 16 gigabytes currently, so you're going to be able to get a lot of storage on one of those, and this will use them, so you're good to go. Another thing I wanted to show you on the top, right here, that is a hot shoe. So if you have a Canon flash, if you want to install a really, really large flash on this, it'll accept it right there, and it'll use any of the current Canon flashes on the market. So that's a very, very nice feature. Now, like I said, this camera has all the bells and whistles. It's extremely easy to use because of the click wheel, and it gives me everything that I have on my digital SLR plus some. And that color swap mode and the color accent mode, those are two very cool modes. Before you had to go into Photoshop and select the colors and remove them, and it was a long process. It does it right in the camera. My wife loved that mode. She went crazy with it. I think we probably have too many pictures where, like, our eyes are blue and everything else is black and white. But hey, we're having a lot of fun. This is one of the most complete cameras I've ever seen, and this is a no-brainer for anybody who wants to really, really get into photography and really take some good pictures. If you guys have any questions about this camera or any other cameras, send me an email, logan@tiger.tv. I'll see you next time. For more information about this Canon PowerShot S5IS, go to tigerdirect.com and type C930-1342 into the search box.